your God power. Get everything you ever wanted and live the life of your dreams. The Master's Course. Copyright 2010 by Richard Lee McKim Jr. All rights reserved. Let the quest for knowing begin. Are our sense organs real? Did you ever see something, hear something, or feel something in a dream? What physical organs did you use to accomplish that? They were your imaginary representations that seemed so realistic within your dream, but were never actually real. However, they are as real as the sensations that you feel while awake. The sensations that you feel while you are awake have an actual physical-looking representation that is realistic and believable, and the imaginary dream doesn't. That is, it no longer has one when you wake up. At the energy level of your being, and using your God power, the ability to change meanings, you could smell with your feet, although I wouldn't recommend it. You could see with your belly button and hear with your elbows, or you could just as easily decide to have fun and use someone else's eyes, nose, ears, and mouth. Just think of it this way. You could taste all the sweets you wanted to and never get fat. You could watch the ball game from the umpire's eyes and his viewpoint. The British physicist Sir William Barrett found evidence of the phenomenon in a series of experiments with a young girl. After hypnotizing the girl, he told her that she would taste everything he tasted. Standing behind the girl, whose eyes I had securely bandaged, I took up some salt and put it in my mouth. Instantly, she sputtered and exclaimed, "What for are you putting salt in my mouth?" Then I tried sugar. She said, "That's better." Asked what it was like. She said, "Sweet." Then mustard, pepper, ginger, etc. were tried. Each was named and apparently tasted by the girl when I put them in my own mouth. Let's look at the illustration here. Normal reality. You got the physical meaning of the persons, the girl and the hypnotist. Then you got the physical meaning that taste is in your own mouth. That's the normal physical meaning. That's the starting physical meaning. Then you have the physical meaning that she had nothing in her own mouth. Then you have the physical meaning result, which is she tastes nothing. She tasted nothing. Remember, everything has to have meaning to start with, otherwise it doesn't exist. So the starting meaning, the normal meaning, would be that you taste things that are in your own mouth. And then you add that to the meaning that she had nothing in her mouth, then obviously the resulting meaning is going to be taste nothing. If you taste what's in your mouth and there's nothing in your mouth, there's nothing to be tasted, you taste nothing. That's normal reality. Okay. Now, let's move down to the illustration. The second illustration here. God power exercised by hypnotism. Okay. Beginning part is the same. You got the physical meaning. You got the two people. Okay. Then you got the thought meaning that her taste is in the hypnotist's mouth. Then you have the physical meaning that there's nothing in her own mouth. But here that doesn't really matter, because her taste, her tasting ability, has been moved into the hypnotist's mouth. So you take the physical meaning of the persons, the fact that she's going to taste what's in the hypnotist's mouth, so nothing in her own mouth has no meaning. It doesn't matter. Then the physical result, she tasted everything that he did. This was through the use of God power. Changing her beliefs, changing her meaning of where she's able to taste. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that he didn't move her taste to her feet or someone else's feet. So he moved her taste, her tasting ability, into his own mouth. Imagine being at a restaurant and sit there looking around at different people and tasting what they're tasting. That's pretty wild. Here it says in the green, the ability has been elicited and activated in her own life experience. Here the green tuning fork is being struck, and what it's doing is resonating with all the things like it. So the green tuning fork would be the positive meaning that I can taste what's in somebody else's mouth. So she's eliciting that ability, because what's in the hypnotist's mouth is available in the non-physical level. That information is there. You can access it. You can access anything in the universe. But it's only through your immersion that you think you're limited to your own senses. That's how people can remote view other places around the world, because that information is out there. It's only through your immersion that you think you're limited to your own five senses. That you think you're limited to your own body. You're not. You can change anything about your expression and your experience here that you want to. So she's eliciting the experience of tasting what's in somebody else's mouth. So the taste that's in his mouth is being transferred psychically to her mouth. That's what she's eliciting. And here it's got 3 green tuning forks are being activated, which in this example means that there's 3 different things that are being brought into action to be able to cause her to be able to do this. And she's eliciting them. She's eliciting them into action. Now, the thing is this. Once again, we get back to the same basic principles. Number 1, all situations are neutral. Number 2, every situation has unlimited possible outcomes. Number 3, the meaning you give to the situation causes resonance to elicit the outcome, the one specific outcome out of the infinite number that are possible, to elicit that specific outcome into your experience. So when she had the meaning that she could taste what was in his mouth, then that outcome was elicited from the situation. Out of the unlimited possible outcomes, there could have been an outcome that she could taste what he was standing on, that she could taste what was in somebody else's mouth in the audience, that she could taste what he was holding in his hand. There was unlimited possible outcomes. Unlimited possible outcomes. Maybe one of them was she could see what was in his mouth. But the meaning for the situation was that she could taste what was in his mouth, so that outcome was elicited to match that meaning. So whatever meaning was given to the situation that was believed could be elicited from the situation, because the situation itself is unlimited. Unlimited, as all situations are. Here it says the green tuning fork. It says the green tuning fork vibrations are high frequency meanings, and they resonate and elicit all the things that will match them. So what that means is, given the meaning that she can taste what's in his mouth, then everything that had to be elicited to create the outcome was elicited. Here it says the red tuning fork vibrations are low frequency meanings, and they resonate and elicit with all things that match with them. They were not being activated. Those may have been things that prevented her. Like one of those tuning forks might have been the idea that you can only taste what's in your mouth. If that had been activated, she would have been unable to taste what was in his mouth because of the belief that you can only taste what's in your mouth. That wasn't activated. In his book, Experiments in Distant Influence, the Soviet physiologist Leonid Vasiliev cites a German study conducted in the 1950s that produced similar findings. In that study, the hypnotized subject not only tasted what the hypnotist tasted, but blinked when the light was flashed in the hypnotist's eyes, sneezed when the hypnotist took a whiff of ammonia, heard the ticking of a watch held to the hypnotist's ear, and experienced pain when the hypnotist pricked himself with a needle. All done in a manner that safeguarded against her obtaining the information through normal sensory cues.
To continue, go to How to Use Your God Power, chapter number 10, segment number 18. Let your quest for knowing continue.